All right. Next up, we have a gentleman, Dr. Billy Williams, who's going to be speaking to us on a simple question. You know, the first thing that Roush mentioned to us was the question we have to answer, which is why. And that's a big question in insurance. I remember as an agent, we would learn, you know, to ask the what questions, to ask the information, but really, you know, as you really become a more seasoned insurance professional, it's not what type of coverage they're looking to get, it's why do they need the coverage. And so why is the most important question we can ask our clients. And it's also a question that we got to ask ourselves, why do we need a CRM? And Dr. Billy, not D. Williams, R. Williams, is going to give us some insight into why we needed a CRM, sorry about that, why it's valuable for us, and how it helps us from an agency standpoint and also helps our carrier partners as well. How are you doing this morning, Dr. Williams?
Look, I'm excited to talk to people about why we need a CRM. And coming from the standpoint, as Roush knows, I created a CRM years ago that I never promoted or pushed to the insurance industry because of all the questions and everything. And so now that CRM is actually used with like Mary Kay and some non-insurance businesses, things like that. So I truly understand what he said. And what I think is the most important statement that everyone should take away is that CRMs are not going to become an AMS. AMSs are going to become CRMs. I think in one sentence, that tells you where everything is going. So that's all I got to say.
Well, thank you.
Now,
sorry, Dan.
Oh, sorry. Now I'm hoping that isn't your presentation because we had you down for a little bit more time than that. But
no, I haven't started my presentation. I think yours has to end before I can start mine, right? Isn't that how it works?
Yeah. So she's gonna set it up so we have you prepared to do your presentation. But one of the things that I didn't do was really go over your accomplished background. You've been in this space for quite some time. And
they don't care about that, Don. These guys don't care about that. They care about making money. That's what they care about.
They care about making money. But I think them knowing that you've been in this space for so long and that you've helped so many agencies do better, improve their workflows is valuable. So yes. I won't go into details because I don't want to, you're a humble man. But this gentleman has been in the backgrounds helping a lot of folks, consulting with carriers as well, making sure that we all do our part to improve this industry. And one of the things that's going to help improve this industry is CRMs. And, I've said this to numerous people whenever they listen to me, not peoples, but people. Our AMS obviously is policy focused. Your CRM is client focused. And notice I didn't say customer focused because that's retail. They talk about customers. We're in insurance. We have clients. We have people that are with us for a long time. And so our CRM helps us keep that focus and keep that relationship. Remember, I said insurance is about two things. It's about data and it's about relationships. And if you have a CRM, you can manage both those things. And so I want to turn the stage over to you, Doctor, so you can talk about why we should have a CRM. Why is a CRM important to us?
As someone who's been there almost since the beginning of this journey with you, I'm just so proud of you. And I'm in awe of what you've accomplished and how much more you're going to accomplish. So, but mainly I'm proud of you. I'm very, very proud of you. I remember us sitting in Dallas years ago and you brought this idea to me and I was like, I don't know about all that, and you were like, I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna make it work. And you went out and you did the research and you talked to the people and you got the team together. I mean, you've just done an amazing job with building something that's going to build a legacy in our industry. That's the thing. Anyone can build something, but can you build something that's going to be a legacy, that's going to help generations and generations and generations of insurance people? And that's something I think you're doing. And I'm very proud of that for you.
Thank you, Dr. Billy. Appreciate it.
Okay, so I think we are ready, Dr. Billy, so go ahead.
Okay. So I don't know if Raushan wanted to say anything before I got going, or how do you
No, I think I'll just quickly build on that. He is absolutely right in saying it from day one. I have looked up to Dr. Billy because, I don't know how I got to know about him, but I think it was the best thing that happened to me in insurance. Because I will say this, I'll confess this, that a lot of the things he teaches, I build.
Yes.
I should give him more credit, or maybe, no, I should not say this, maybe more out of the company.
It's all good. It's all good.
But that is the reality. I did not knew what to build beyond just listening to all of you guys, but it was an easy cheat sheet for me because he has already decomposed a lot of that complex thinking into simple steps. And then it becomes very easy. Okay, go build these things. Nobody was talking quote to close ratios when Dr. Billy was talking about it. And who was the first one to build that? InsuredMine. So things like that, which was very obvious, and everybody thought that, oh, this is so nerdy. But no, this was the need. And we just took those advice and we listened and we built. So, great community of folks coming together. And as I said, this is the best thing that has happened to us. And so thank you for all that support. And every year you have been doing so many things with InsuredMine. And I just can't thank you enough. I know personally that I cannot personally give back so much as I have received from you guys. But one thing I have learned, the only way I can give back is to give it forward. And that's what I would tend to do, with every opportunity ahead of us. So thank you, Dr. Billy. And I don't want to be between you and this wonderful audience out here who is here to listen to you, not me. So I'll just let you get started on that. So thank you.
Got you. So Montserrat, I have 5 minutes less. Is that what I'm being told right now? Okay, so let's get started, guys. All right, here's the deal. I travel all around the country. I talk to hundreds and hundreds of agents. I have ownership in agencies. I mentor agencies, and there is such confusion about what to do in certain things. So I'm going to clean it up for you today. When we go into an agency, there are 20 questions that we ask about their technology, right? And we don't go in assuming. We let these 20 questions tell us where we need to go next with the technology. Do we need to add? Do we need to take away? Do we need to just utilize more of what we currently have? All those things, okay? So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Dr. Billy Williams. I'm president of the Williams Family Investment Group. We have 170 plus agencies that we have equity in. We also have equity in Goosehead Insurance. So we have equity in Brown & Brown. We have equity in Allstate, other companies that we've invested in and that we work with on those on a regular basis as well. I'm also founder president of Inspire Nation Business Mentoring. I always say we are K through 12. You go to all these organizations and you got all these gurus and you got Raushan and you got all these guys that are like college level, PhD level, right? I like to stay at that K through 12 level and work with those common everyday Susies and Bettys and Joes and Davids who don't have the vision that the agency owner does. They just want to get through their day. And so we teach them how to effectively get through their day. So that's kind of what Inspire Nation does. I want to start you out with a thought. I wrote this book called Ice Cream Lessons. It's lessons business owners learn the hard way, right? And you can go to icecreamlessons.com. It's free. I'm not selling anything, Raushan. It's free. They can just download a copy of it, icecreamlessons.com, right? But one of the sayings that I teach is your actions reflect the denomination that you think in. Your actions reflect the denomination that you think in. And the actions that you take inside your technology also reflect the denomination that you think in. So Raushan can be building a tool that can make you thousands of dollars per hour, but your denomination, the way you think, may I'm going to use this tool to make $10 an hour. I'm going to use this tool to make $20 an hour. So you have to make sure that you're utilizing your tool to match the denomination you want your agency to think in. So if you want to be a $10 million agency, you're going to find a way to perform tasks that make hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars, not just tasks that make $10 or $20. So Raushin is building a platform. He's building a system. The whole team over there is putting together a system that will allow you to grow your agency to $10 million in revenue, right? But if you don't think in 10 million, you'll figure out ways to make that $10 million platform do $10 an hour tasks. So let's not do that, okay? The one question I always get asked, when do I use my CRM versus my agency management system? And I think this is the biggest question and the biggest confusion in our industry. When do I use my CRM versus when do I use my agency management system? So if you use the 20 questions I'm about to go over, if you just follow them, it'll help you determine what functions should happen in your CRM versus what functions should happen in your agency management system. And that'll help clean up a lot of confusion for you guys. So I'm going to cut off my video right now so you're not distracted, because I have a face for radio, not for TV. I get it. So I'm going to cut off the video and we're just going to focus on the questions. First question, you always want to ask yourself, what is the best tool to use to send email templates to customers and prospects? Now, this may seem like a very basic question until you walk into an agency, and I'll walk in and there are 10 people in that agency, and I'll go to all 10 and go, what do you use to send email templates to your customers and prospects? Oh, I use Google. Oh, I use my Outlook. Oh, I use the agency management system. Oh, I use InsuredMine. I mean, I'm getting all these different answers in one office, and they're using 7 different things to send email templates. You have to pick the one tool that's best and get everyone utilizing that one tool. It's like languages, guys. Using technology is literally like learning a language. So if half your office is speaking French, half your office is speaking German, half, the people who support those halves are speaking Portuguese, guess what? Nothing happens. Nothing is going to get done. So you have to pick the tool that allows you to send email templates and to customers and prospects. And notice I said, what is the best tool? Not just what is a tool, but what is the best tool? Okay, that's question number 1. Question number 2 that you need to ask about your technology. Can my technology have merge fields or tags? For you guys at InsuredMine, you call them tags, right? And in the normal world, the other world that I grew up in, and Outlook and Microsoft Word and all that kind of stuff, it was called merge fields. But if I'm going to have email templates, can those email templates automatically pull information from customer and prospect records? First name, last name, phone number, email address, all those other kind of things, and automatically fill that into that template. Can it do it? Right? Now that seems like such a basic question, but yet there are agency management systems and there are CRMs and there are other tools that are out here that have fumbled and bumbled with that. So can my best tool do those merge fields or those tags? Next question. What's the best tool to send text messages to customers and prospects? Guys, text messaging is the #1 mode of communication in the world today. And it's not going to go away, right? Because everyone doesn't want to be on their app. Everyone doesn't want to Snapchat. And everyone doesn't want to TikTok or an Instagram or this. Text messaging is the #1 mode of communication in the world today. So is your best tool, the tool that you're using most, is that the tool to send text messages to customers and prospects? Something is saying start my video, Montserrat. What's going on here? So not sure what happened, but you guys can all hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Gotcha.
we can hear you.
Okay, got you. All right. Question number 4. Can the text messages have merge field or tags? You see, if I'm going to send something, I'll put it this way. So much time is wasted by staff typing and retyping and retyping and retyping the same stuff over and over and over. And I'll go in and I'll say, why did it take you 5 minutes to send that email? Oh, because I had to look up their policy number. I had to look up their phone number. I had to look up their email address. I had to see what carrier they were with. I'm like, why doesn't that information just flow into your email template or flow into your text message that you're sending them? Oh, I don't know. My system doesn't do that. So that's the 4th question we ask. We're talking about what is the best tool. Understand what the purpose of these questions are. When I go in an agency, they may have 8 different tools. I'm going to ask, what is the best tool to do these 20 things that I need to get done? Because remember, I'm down at Joe and Jane and Susie and Paul level. I'm not up at the agency leadership level. I'm not working up at the company or the glass ceiling and the glass tower and all that. I'm worried about these guys, because if I can get these guys to do what they're supposed to do every day, I can make that glass tower look however I want it to look. But if I'm not getting the end user to do what they need to do, none of this is going to work. So can they have merge field or tags? Next question that I'm always going to ask. Can I send an email template that has merge fields and tags based on a specific trigger or event? So yes, a lot of the tools, I can manually go in and create an email. I maybe can put some merge fields into that. But can I actually have an email automatically go out because of a trigger or an event? What do I mean by a trigger? Trigger could be maybe this is a new customer, and just labeling them new customer automatically sends an email or email workflow. Labeling them as a birthday automatically sends something. Putting the fact that they're coming up for renewal automatically sends something. Can there be a trigger or event that automatically sends an email template that has merge fields that pulls information in based on that? Next, can I send a text message template? Right? Because we break communication down very simple. We call PETS, P-E-T-S, phone, email, text message, social networking. Those are the 4 primary ways I'm going to communicate, right? Now, we're talking about with customers and prospects. We're not talking marketing and advertising and all that other stuff. So you guys, I know what you're already thinking. Well, what about postcards, or what about, that's marketing and advertising. I'm talking about communicating with our customers and prospects. And we call it PETS, phone, email, text message, right? And social networking. That's why text messaging is coming up. Same thing. If I'm going to send a text, can it be based on a trigger? Can it be based on an event that's happening? Question number 7, automation workflow, right? Can a series of email templates automatically go out on a specific schedule? So I wanted to go out at day 0, day 7, day 14, day 21, day 35, day 360, whatever. Can I automate that whole process? And it seems like this should be so simple. But again, as you're dealing with different AMS systems, different CRMs, especially my captive agents, they're so limited in what they can do. My poor farmers agents, I feel so sorry for those guys. I love them, but I feel so sorry for them because they have almost no automation when it comes to being able to do these things. And that's not a knock on farmers. It's simply what Raushin was saying earlier. AMSs are going to need to become CRMs, not CRMs become AMSs. Raushin, I think that's the most powerful line that you said in anything that you said today, right?
Thank
and
you.
I'll repeat that over and over and over because it's so true, right? So can a series of email templates automatically go out on a specific schedule? Question number 8, can a series of text message templates go out on a specific schedule? Question number 9, what's the best tool to pull reports such as upcoming renewals, upcoming birthdays, cross-sell, new customer reports? What system do I have in my agency that's going to pull the most data and give me the most flexibility and options with reports. Okay, with reports. Number 10, can a mass email go out to contacts from that report or audit? So it's great that I can pull that report. It's great that I can pull that audit. But if I want to send an automated workflow, or if I want to send one mass email, or I want to send one mass text message, can I pull the report and then send to that segment, send an email, send a text message, whatever I need to send? Can I do that? Next, can a mass text message go out to that from that report or from that audit? Next, what's the best tool to send an electronic signature form? Now, in most agencies, most of the things that I've talked about so far, they're going to this tool to do that. They're going to this tool to do this. They're going to that tool to do that. Well, where do you do this? I do that in Asana. Well, where do you go for this? Oh, I go to HubSpot for that. Well, what do you do here? I'll go to my agency management system for that. Well, what do you do over here? Oh, I go to my phone system for that, or I go to my text message system for that. And it's like, okay, let me get this straight. In order for your people to do something as simple as send an email template or a text message template with merge fields after a report has been run, I got to go to 6 different tools to get that done. Yep, that's the way we're set up now. Again, when I go in, my job is to assess what's going on, right? And then try to streamline that process so that Judy is not stressing out. Because here's what's going to happen, agency leaders and staff. The more buttons in different tools your people have to push, the less is going to get done. The less work is going to get done. So if Judy's got to go to here to send an email, here to send a text message, here to run a report, here to to turn it into an e-signature document and get it over to this, and guess what's not happening? 50% of that is not going to happen. Why? Because they're too busy. Even though we know they're really not. The reality is, in their mind, they're too busy. So therefore, something's going to get dropped off. And everything that we talk about makes money. So if I'm sending an email template, I'm not sending an email template just to send it. I'm sending it because it makes revenue. It generates more money. It generates this. Now, I know Raushin said Raushin doesn't care about making money. He cares about making value. Dude, if I make enough money, I can buy value. So I'm concerned with making money, making revenue, making that agency get closer to that 10 million revenue mark. So question number 12, what's the best tool to send an electronic signature form? Question number 13, what's the best system to create a task for a customer's record? I need to do something. I need to follow up. I need to create something. What's the best tool in my agency to do that? Question number 14, can the task that we create be assigned to more than one team member? Maybe I need someone to do it, someone to check it, someone to validate it. Who knows? Maybe it's a 3-part task that somebody does this. Maybe my onboarding team does this, and my new customer team does this, and then my retention team does that. But it's basically the same task. So can I assign that task to more than one team member? Number 15 and 16. 15, will tasks that are created show up on a dashboard or outstanding task log? And can I run a report that shows my non-completed task? I've gone into agencies and I'll say, hey guys, let me see your dashboard. They'll show me their dashboard, and there's like 55 things on the dashboard. But I can't tell which was done, which was completed, which is still pending. I can't tell anything. I just see a bunch of junk on a dashboard, right? So I want to run a report, or maybe I want to run a report on a specific activity. Maybe I want to know all the auto endorsements that were done yesterday, or I want to know how many new quotes did we generate yesterday, and there's an open task for those quotes because it's part of my lead management. Well, can I run a report on that? Some systems, yes, some systems, no. But these are questions that I need to ask. 17, which of my agency technology tools integrate with other third-party technology, such as phone, video, postal mail, all these kind of things? Remember we said PETs, phone, email, text message, social networking. So which of the tools integrate with those other tools, so that if for some reason I do have to use another tool because that tool is a specialist at that task, I can still integrate my main systems together. So again, question 17, which of my agency technology tools integrate with other third-party technology tools? Question number 18, will the integration be easy? There are a lot of tools out here that tell you, oh yeah, we integrate. Yeah, we integrate. Well, if my tool will integrate with other key technology tools, is it by coding? Is it by API? Is it by webhook? And you know what? Half of you on the line are going, what the hell's a webhook? What's an API? What do you mean by coding? Is there something I have to do? See, a good tool will make it simple to integrate with the partners that they've chosen. Doesn't mean they're necessarily going to integrate with every single tool, because there's security risk involved as well. If you think about the hacks that happened to banks and happened to Experian and all these other big data breaches, most of it didn't happen at the main source. Most of it happened through some integration, some third-party integration that didn't take security as seriously as the main source. So that means I'm looking for tools that not only integrate, but is it easy to integrate, and is it secure? Are those integrations secure? Do I have to do some coding? Do I have to do the API key? Do I have to build the webhook, or will the tool automatically do that for me? Question number 19. How many total fields or tags in my technology can be merge filled into an email template, document, or form, or text message? So I'll go in and they'll say, oh yeah, my tool has merge fields. That's not a problem. And then we go in and we start looking at the merge fields that it has. You know what it has? First name, last name, agent signature, some other stuff. It doesn't give me any real detail, any real data that I could build forms and templates and review forms. And at Inspire Nation, we build a lot of forms that we want data pulled into, because my forms will communicate a lot of things that I can't get staff to communicate. My text messages, my emails, my documents, right? The templates that I use, they will communicate in the denomination that I need my agency to think in, even when I can't get my people to have that conversation. So if I send you a review form and it says, this is our agency standard for homeowners, it's $500,000 liability, and you currently have $100,000 liability, we think you should bump up to $500,000 because based on your situation, we feel it's going to best protect you. Guess what? I can't get all of my staff to say that. Whether they're too busy, whether they're too insecure, whether they're too untrained, I can't get all of my staff to say those things, but I can get my forms and my templates to say that. And when I can just simply click a button and it automatically shows our standard versus what the customer has, and I can do that line by line, oh my God, life becomes so much easier, and I'm talking in the denomination that I want to talk in. Question number 20. What capacity for document storage does my system have? A lot of things you have to, okay, in order to do this, I need to attach it over here to this, but some of them have limits on that attachment. Some of them don't even have attachments. So I can't go in and look at a history of documents, a history of conversations, a history of attachments, because they just don't have the capacity for document storage. So what does that mean? Again, I'll go back to Raushan's line. It's not that it's not that CRMs should become AMSs. It's just that AMSs, or agency management systems, have to start becoming CRMs if they're going to keep up. So if I use my CRM effectively, these 4 things will be addressed. Most customer-facing contact templates will get sent from the CRM. Most lead management tasks will happen inside the CRM. Most tasks that require a follow-up and tracking will happen inside the CRM. Most customer reports will happen inside the CRM. And for me, remember, I'm all about building revenue. I'm all about building that agency up to 10 million in revenue. So for me, I need these 4 things addressed. I need my templates, my customer and prospect facing templates to be effective, easy to use, and efficient. I need my lead management. I don't need leads falling through the cracks. So I want it in one place where I can track the workflow, I can track the history, I can track my lead management. I want my follow-ups and my tracking to happen inside of my main system. I want most customer reports, the things that are important to me, the things that allow me to break my book down and segment and understand what's happening with my book. I want those reports to happen inside of my CRM. So if I use my CRM effectively, these are the things that will be addressed. So what does that mean? That means if I have a great CRM and I use it effectively, because having it doesn't mean anything if you don't use it. If I have a great CRM and I use it effectively, my agency management system becomes a fancy file cabinet that contains downloaded customer policy information from the carriers. That's, I believe, and I'm not speaking on behalf of InsuredMine, but when I look at InsuredMine and what they're doing, this is what I believe the vision is. This is what I believe the future is. And this is the vision that I had when I built my CRM years ago, was I wanted to eliminate the agency management system necessarily being the gatekeeper to all this data. And I wanted it to be my file cabinet, right? So if you're using your tools effectively, your CRM effectively, your agency management system should become a fancy file cabinet that contains downloaded customer policy information from the carriers. And guess what? As more integration occurs, pretty soon that policy information will be able to flow into your CRM. So now your agency management system literally would become your file cabinet. This is why agency management systems are struggling to try and catch up to CRMs, right? Some are doing a decent job, some are not doing a decent job. But this is also why InsuredMine, I believe, is head and shoulders above the competition. So this whole talk that I just did was not about, oh, InsuredMine is amazing. InsuredMine is wonderful. InsuredMine is this, InsuredMine that. My thing was, when I go into an agency, I'm technology agnostic. I don't give a damn what technology you're using. I just need to know that these functions can happen. It just so happens that 99% of the things that I look for to grow an agency happen inside of InsuredMine. That's why I love it. So when you're asking these questions, because some of you on the call are InsuredMine users, some of you are not InsuredMine users. When you're asking about your insurance tech stack, guys, ask these 20 questions. Don't assume. The moment you start assuming, you stop asking questions. So don't just assume, oh yeah, my system does email. No, but does it do email the way that I just brought up in these 20 questions? Does it do text messages the way I brought up? Does it do document storage the way I brought up? Does it do e-signatures the way I brought up? So don't assume. The moment you start assuming, you stop asking questions. All right, guys, so I'm going to open it up. If anyone has any questions, Montserrat, I guess, are you the person who's going to filter those questions for me or make sure that I'm looking at them at least?
Don is going to ask you some questions. So, Don, you can go. Don, you are mute.
I should be unmuted now. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
We can. We absolutely can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Williams. First question, when we look at this tech-enabled world where, all our kids today, they're, native when it comes to technology. Do you think it's possible for insurance agents to improve customer satisfaction without, or customer engagement without technology?
I think it's possible if the agency is small and limited in their scope. Then let me say that. I know that may not be the answer you want, but I'm always going to give you an honest answer. So let's say I worked with 20 billionaires. That's all I work with. It's 20 billionaires, right? I could skip some technology and just work with those 20 billionaires, maybe just by text messaging, maybe by doing a Zoom call every now and then if I couldn't get to them, or having them come to my office or do whatever. So I can limit some technology because it's such a small scope and such a small segment. But as I grow my segment, as I grow my scope, it's going to be impossible to not utilize technology. It's going to be impossible to be able to give the customer experience, to walk through the customer journey, to do all the things that I need to do that's convenient, easy, and comfortable for my customer. It's going to be impossible as I grow my business. So answer to that question is, yeah, you can skip some technology if you stay small. But as you grow, you're not going to be able to do that.
Okay, thank you. And I guess looking at that, going along with that same question, just going a little bit deeper, do you feel that CRMs add value or help agencies when it comes to cross-selling and working with their renewals?
Well, absolutely, John. I mean,
if you don't mind, just give an example of how.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we do is we do policy weaknesses. I don't believe in the word cross-sell. It's not in my mindset. My thing is policy weaknesses. There are 3 weaknesses every customer has: no coverage, low coverage, or they're missing a supporting policy, right? No coverage, low coverage, missing a supporting policy. So how do I quickly identify who does not have coverage that they should have? Whose coverage is too low compared to our agency standards, and what supporting policies are they missing that's going to best round out their profile? A CRM should be able to tell me that immediately, right? That's why I run reports. That's why I run audits. That's why even just looking at that customer dashboard, just seeing the customer main record, I should be able to see I got home, I got auto, boom. But I also want that trigger, because I see the same thing every day, and after a while it just becomes static, right? So I want that trigger that says, oh, you're missing this home. Oh, this customer doesn't have an umbrella. Oh, this customer has home but no flood. I want that pop-up to remind my team so that they can go, oh man, I was so busy I didn't see that. So absolutely, a CRM can do that.
Okay, now looking at what a CRM can do, and you've again helped a lot of agencies around the country. How would you say, because a lot of folks believe that technology takes away the human element, takes away the relationship, or maybe strains the relationship. How would you say that CRMs such as InsuredMine helps the interactions and relationships with the clients?
Okay. There are 4 types of staff in every insurance agency, right? 4 types. Number 1, there's technology. Technology is a staff member, right? Just like Judy or Bob or Dan or whatever, technology is a staff member. So there's technology staff, there's human staff, right? There are process staff, right? You with me? And then there are tasks. So when I look at all those things, I need those 4 staff members to work together. I need this particular task and the technology that supports that task, and the human that controls the technology that supports that task to flow into a process. So absolutely, it's not even a matter of the team or the way that you ask the question being an issue. The issue is most agencies don't look at their technology as part of the team. They look at the technology as a standalone item. I don't teach that. I teach everything works together. They are all interconnected. And so my humans need to know what my technology does. My technology supports my humans. My humans do the tasks flow into a process. So I don't know if that answered your question or not.
It does.
It's the way that I look at things.
It does. And it's interesting because, it's a symbiotic relationship. Technology it should not replace the human. What it should do is enable the human to be more impactful at their position. We look at there's being effective and efficient, and there's being impactful. Efficiency is about, really time management. And being impactful is about having an impact. You know, how is this technology going to improve what we do in our agency? How does it make not necessarily your job easier, but makes you better at doing your job? And, you know, a lot of times as people, we do a lot of mundane tasks and that have to be done, you know, that, you know, we don't want to do it. I'm in an agency, but they have to be done. If we can use technology to take care of some of those tiny little things that none of us enjoy doing or very few enjoy doing, so that we can focus on the areas where we will have a greater impact in the long-term success in the agency, then that's why we want to have this technology. And, you know, a CRM is one of those things, one of those pieces. So I agree 100% with
it
what you
goes
said.
right into what I started off this conversation with. Your actions reflect the denomination you think in. So if I'm using my CRM to do $10 tasks, right? And those $10 tasks free me up to do $1,000 tasks, phenomenal. But if I'm using that CRM to do $10 tasks, and then I'm freed up to go do more $10 tasks, then I'm not being effective. So everyone has to understand the vision of what the technology does. So, and Don, I'm not trying to cut you off or anything, but there seems to be a lot of chat questions. So is anyone monitoring those? Because I'd love to be able to answer some of those questions as well.
Sure, let me pull up some of those questions for you. Yeah, you're right. There are quite a few of those in there. All right. Gary, Gary, you there? He made a good comment with Tucker. They're both talking about old school thinking. There's a lot of communication going on. Gary had a question about Vertifor's relationship with InsuredMine, and I can answer that.
I can't. So that's you.
Now I'm looking for some questions that are specifically for you. But as far as that question, InsuredMine has a great relationship with Vertifor. They're actually InsuredMine's an orange partner with Vertifor. So the integration is not only with AMS 360, it's also with Sajita, which is unheard of. There are still a few folks out there that use that, and I can understand it because your AMS is somewhat of your backbone. You know, because it's managing all the policy information, so it's a challenge to switch. So Rauschen was able to get an integration so that InsuredMine can even communicate with that solution. Now, I do have another question that Greg Adams asked, and you can answer this one for us, Doctor. Do I need an AMS?
Oh, yeah, you have to have an AMS because right now with the carriers, that's that old school pipeline, right? The carriers download to wherever they download, and then that flows into your AMS system. So again, your AMS system is your file cabinet that stores all your customer policy data, right? And so until the CRM can somehow bridge that old school way of doing it and pull all your policy data into the CRM function, then yeah, you're going to have to do that. And that's what Rauschen means when he says AMSs have to become CRMs or are becoming CRMs, because they do have that data. They control that pipeline, but what they don't do are all the amazing things communication-wise and report-wise that a CRM does. So yes, you have to have an agency management system.
Well, and Gary, you asked a good question. Let me make sure it was Gary that was asking. No, it was Gary. Yeah. Why do the carriers continue to focus on the commoditization of buying insurance instead of recognizing that the consumer wants to be educated? And I've got a study from Salesforce and Newsweek that talks about what consumers value most when it comes to insurance, which is different than what we on the insurance side think. But if you don't mind, why do you think carriers continue to focus on the commoditization of insurance or the buying of insurance?
Okay, my answer is going to be completely different from what the brain share of most of the industry says. Customers should focus on the price. They absolutely should focus on the price. But it's up to the agent to actually explain the value of what they're paying for. Okay, if I got two apples and those apples look exactly the same and they're sitting on the shelf, one costs 60 cents and one costs 40 cents. Why the hell would I pay 60 cents for something when the apple right beside it costs 40 cents? The only way I can pay that 60 cents is if the grocer tells me, oh, this apple is grown organic. This apple supports, you know, the battered women's shelter. This apple makes sure that it's ecologically, you know, ecologically safe for, I mean, whatever. Now you explain to me why your thumb is in the way, big guy. You explain to me why, you're all good. You explain to me why I should pay $50 more for your insurance or for your minimum recommended standards or your minimum this. Now I can make an adjustment. It's the same thing between if I need a car. Do I buy a Mercedes? Do I buy a Tesla? Or do I buy a Ford Fiesta? You know what I'm saying? If you can't explain to me why I need to spend the money on a Mercedes, then don't bitch at me because, woo, you're just wasting money. You could have bought that Ford Fiesta. I don't want the Ford Fiesta. Maybe I want the Mercedes. Or I don't want the Mercedes. Maybe I want the Ford Fiesta. Agents, it is not the carrier's job to explain to the customer the value of what we sell. It is our job to explain the value of what we sell. Don't put that on the carriers.
I was going to agree with you and even add a little bit more to it because, you know, as we all are consumers and no one likes to be sold anything, but we all like to shop. We all like to buy. So as an agent, our job is to help that person see the value in that product for themselves, because we can tell them that this is $5 more and this company's better, but if they don't understand why that's going to be better for them in their situation, it's lost. So companies, they want to generate premium. That's their goal, is to, you know, get money in. And how do they appeal to consumers? Well, the consumers are typically dollar conscious. It is our responsibility to make sure they understand that you get what you pay for, and there's a difference between cost, price, and value. And this is something that, you know, I've talked to folks about. Cost, the price is what you pay up front. The cost is what you're going to pay over time with the purchase of whatever that product solution is. And the value is seeing that cost up front. So our objective is to show them that value and help them see it for themselves. That makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Montserrat's looking at us like, okay, guys, don't go over our time. And I want to be respectful of Montserrat. So
That's right.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Williams. And if you guys have any more questions or you need to reach him, I'm sure he'll have his information for you.
No, I'm not. You can't reach me. No, Rauschen, he thinks I'm joking. No, Rauschen, he thinks I'm joking. Dude, I'm not the guy that you reach out to. You can reach out to my team. You can reach out to my company, but I ain't giving you nothing to come to me personally. Call it ego, call it arrogance, call it whatever you want. I am not the day-to-day worker in my company. I am the head of my company. So.
Yeah, we'll get you the information for your company.
There you go.
So he's absolutely right, you know, so it's not easy to get hold of Dr. Billy when I struggle most of the time. But having said that, because he accepted to be here, sharing his knowledge with this wonderful community out here, I really want to thank him for his time and being gracious to be able to share all this knowledge that he has been acquiring over these years. So thank you, Dr. Billy, again, one more time for doing this favor to us. So appreciate all your time.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Now we're going to switch to the next session. See you guys there.
See you there, guys.